Hey guys, here again. So I got a very important question that somebody asked me not too long ago. Like I said again, I help you African businesses to find buyers in the USA so you can earn in dollars by selling any of the products you sell locally abroad. So like I said, go to my channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, preferably YouTube, and ask me any question you have. The channel, the link is down there below where you can see it. Now, the question that I have, I think this came from, maybe one of those people, so he was like, if I am going into export, what are the challenges that I'm likely to face, right? So I'll basically caption this as challenges businesses face with export. Okay, so that is probably what I'm going to give as the title of this training. So what are the challenges that businesses, SMEs typically face with export? Now, the first one I'm going to talk about, and this is one that I see all too often, is probably the biggest issue that most of you make. That is capital. This is the biggest issue. Somebody has an order. Somebody tells him, hey, I need you to bring 100 of XYZ products. They are able to buy the 100 products, but they forget that there are other charges when it comes to export. So again, they forget that there is going to be the shipping cost, there may be the clearing cost, and then any other cost, again, depending on the dynamics. And again, one of the things you need to remember, depending on the business, the nature of your business, you may need more capital than you require. So let me give you an example. You're an SME, right? You're trying to start export. You get a customer who says, I need you to supply me 100 items every month. That's a good deal to have. That's a good business to have. Right? Now, you do your profitability analysis. I talk about profitability analysis a lot, and a lot of you know that that is where I start any export business. If you come to me and you say, hey, I want to export this product, what do I do? The first thing I'm going to tell you is, have you run a profitability analysis to know if this product is going to be profitable to export in the first place? Right? So what is it that we talk about capital? So somebody comes to you, a buyer abroad sees your product, they love it. They say, hey, I need you to supply me with 100 pieces every month, but I'm going to pay you only when I receive the items. And you say, yes, it's a good deal. I'm going to make $5,000 every month out of this deal. Let me start. You do your profitability analysis. You see that it is only going to be profitable shipping via sea, and it's going to take 3 months to get that product out there. Now, so you do, it's going to require about $10,000 to fulfill an order, which means the cost of manufacturing, the cost of shipping it to the customer will be $10,000. How much do you need in capital to start that business? Let's take a look. So remember, it takes 3 months for this. So I'm going to draw a timeline here. So this is 0, month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. It's a continuous process. Month 5, and then month infinity, right? So you start here. This is the pallet, it has 100 items in it. You ship it. When is it going to get to the customer? It's going to get to the customer in the 3rd month, right? But again, remember, the customer needs another of that 100 product in the 4th month. That means you have to ship another one the 2nd month for it to get there in the 4th month. And this is still in transit because, the product is only going to get here in the 3rd month. Then you have the next one, right? Another 100 products. This will not even get there until the 5th month. And then you have your 6th month. This is another one, another 100 products. This doesn't even get there till the 6th month. So if you look at this scenario, how much do you need to have in capital if each of these costs $10,000 to execute? Now it's costing you $10,000. You're going to make $5,000 in profit. But how much capital do you need? It's not 10,000, because again, this is going via sea. So you're going to need 10, 20, 30, probably $40,000 to execute this business. And this is the problem a lot of people make. So what happens? They execute the first deal, they forget that, oh, it's going to take 3 months after, or probably 4 months after, before they are paid, and then they lose the second one. And this is where financing comes in. So again, I tell you, one of the biggest issues, probably the first key issue that I see as a problem with those going into export, is not being sure of the right amount of capital you need before you go into export. So be very careful. And that's why before I start any export thing, there is what you call profitability analysis. We've come up with a scheme. Anybody that comes to us and says, help me with export, we have a process. We call it the PSS system. P stands for prepare, S stands for send, the other S stands for sell. The PSS system. I'm going to talk more about it. It's something that we have developed after dealing with over 2,000 to 3,000 businesses, helping them with their export business. All right, so again, capital is number one. Number two is knowledge. Knowledge. You need to have the knowledge of how to export. Now, this is one of the things I have seen with a lot of export training. Many export training out there are from people who just want to make money by training people. They are not from people who have gotten the practical experience of being in the export business. They just read a book, they watched a video, they went for a training, and all of a sudden they think they are experts in export. And that's what differentiates me. I was the CEO of American Air Sea Cargo from 2009 to 2020, almost 11 years. In that period, I have seen and had all sorts of issues with the US Customs. We had instances where the US Customs shipped thousands of kilograms of our goods. And then we started studying. Those were, I think that was far back as 2015. We started going for lectures. I equipped myself and my team with the knowledge of all the rules and regulations. For the last 5 years or more, no US Customs or anybody has ever held any of our shipment, because we know. And that's why when you come to us and our team and say, hey, help us export this item, we give you a guarantee that nothing will happen to it, because we have the knowledge. So when you're talking about knowledge, you need to know things like your packing list, your commercial invoice, the HS code. You need to know how to ensure that you have those things correctly. Export documentation knowledge is vital for an SME trying to go into export. And that's why you have a lot of issues. I was listening to one of the DGs of one of the agencies in Nigeria, and she said that about 70% of items, food items being exported to the USA are being held for further examination. Why? Because the people that are exporting this don't have the right knowledge. They don't know the right thing to do when they are exporting. Knowledge is key. Be careful who you get your knowledge from. Stop learning from WhatsApp and Telegram groups that tell you bring this money. No, those people are out to make money. Ask them what kind of practical experience do they have? What kind of structure do they have? We have warehouses in Houston and Atlanta where we help you from A to Z. Now, that's enough said. Now, the next one that you see is the local rules. So I'm going to call it local rules, right? For some reason, knowing the local rules is even more, these things are even more complex than the rules in the USA. Take Nigeria, for example. You have agencies like NAFDAC. Their rules are so complex. I think that is one agency that the government needs to look at if they want the export from Nigeria to blow up. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to talk about that one day. I'm going to dedicate a video strictly on the issues with exporting from Nigeria. But again, this is for general SMEs wherever you are in Africa. Know this. Again, before your product leaves, it has to meet the local rules of your country. A lot of your countries will have the equivalent of the US FDA, Food and Drug Administration, that are responsible for making sure that anything you are exporting meets certain requirements so that you don't give the country a bad name out there. Right? So you need to know the local rules. Can you export raw products? Must it be packaged? If it's packaged, what kind of packaging do you need? You need to understand the local rules for export. All right. So the next one is certifications. Certifications/licenses. And these are very important. You need to be careful. You know, I was holding a training once, and one of the guys that came in for the training, he wanted to show me the sample of what he was looking at export. It's soursop leaves, you know, dried soursop leaves. And he had already put on the label organic soursop leaves. And when I looked at it, I saw the word organic, and I'm like, do you have the certification that this product is organic? He said no, that he just put it there because he wanted to. And that's a problem. If he had exported those products with the word organic and they ask him for the certifications, it becomes a problem. Such a product won't even sell on Amazon unless you show evidence of that organic certification. Some of you would need some form of licenses, some form of approvals, typically FDA, Food and Drug Administration, the US, they monitor for food. Anytime you're exporting commercial quantities of food to the USA, you must have the FDA food facility registration. It's a must. Cosmetics too. They've just come out with rules for cosmetic facility registration as well. So a lot of times we don't know these rules, these certifications and licenses. And also a lot of times those certifications and licenses come with rules on how you ship items that are under those rules. So for example, if you are shipping items, food that fall under the FDA food facility registration, you must make sure that you send a pre-alert to the FDA 48 hours before the items leave. If not, they will seize it. So you need to know that. Now, another problem that many people face is high shipping costs. Right? This has spoiled many people from going into business. And again, it's because of the way you are structuring your business. If you structure your business the right way, you should have no problem with the shipping cost. If you've done your profitability analysis, you know that, okay, this product is not going to be profitable shipping via air, so I have to ship it via sea. But a lot of people, they just ship. And one of the biggest mistakes that SMEs face when it comes to shipping costs is assuming that once they pay the shipping company the shipping cost, that is all that is involved. And then they get shocked when the items get there and the customs or whoever it is that they shipped it with sends them an invoice for the clearing cost. And then from there, they've lost all their profit, right? So again, you need to be careful. The shipping cost is a huge factor. Now, the sixth one that I say is a challenge is the branding/labeling of the product. Are your products branded to meet the US specification, or you think that the local specification you have here is going to be equivalent enough to sell it over there? This is one of the biggest problems that so many people have. When you tell them, no, your design is wrong, your design is not going to work in the US supermarkets, it's not going to work on Amazon, so many of them argue with you. And then what I see is that they try to do it and they fail. We have a customer who came to us, and you know, this is a customer that came to us. She already had products she was selling, but she humbled herself. She listened to me, and every single advice I gave her, she followed. Less than 4 months of joining us, she was doing about $60,000 to $80,000 a month. What did we do? We put her through the PSS system. The first P, prepare. We prepared her product. We rebranded it. We redesigned it. We made sure the FDA labeling, everything was intact. As soon as we did that, when she went and presented those products to every African store that she could find, all of them gave her orders because they saw that her product met specification. Branding and labeling, very important. Another one I'll just add is the packaging. Very important. A lot of you underestimate the importance of the right packaging. And packaging could also deal with sizing, right? Sizing. The size that you typically sell a product in your local area may not be the size that your buyers out there are looking for. So you may be selling in 500 grams, 500 grams, 0.5 kg, whereas your buyers out there are only looking for 100 grams. That means you're selling more than they need. So you need to look at that, and we do all that in the prepare stage, the PWS system. The prepare stage is where we look at all these factors to make sure you have the product that is in demand, is the type of product that your people are looking for. All right, so that is one. The next one is probably the most important, is finding buyers, right? I left this for last. Finding buyers. The biggest challenge faced with export is, how do I find buyers? And this is where we focus. In fact, our whole business is built on this, helping you to find buyers. And finding buyers could be different places. It could be direct to consumer, showing you how to get your products to different consumers. Look, there are a lot of Africans in diaspora who are spending thousands of dollars exporting, bringing items. How do you connect with them? It could be finding buyers in retail stores. It could be wholesale stores. It could be selling in online. It could be selling to big retail chains. These things are possible. You just need to know the right way. So having faced all these problems, all these challenges that SMEs face going into export, what is the way out? Remember, I told you that we've developed a system we call PSS. I call it PSS. P is to prepare. In the prepare stage, we are going to do what I call first start with a profitability analysis to be sure that that product you want to export is profitable in the first instance. And then from there, we go into branding, labeling, repackaging to make sure it is what people are looking for. We make sure there is a demand for that product, that thousands of people are looking for it before we even start recommending it for export. S is send. It's a very simple process. Under the send process, we are looking at how you ship, the licenses you have, making sure you have all the certifications, making sure you are shipping using rules like AGOA that ensure that your items get there duty free. This is how you become profitable. It's not just by, once you get an order, you ship. You have to first prepare. And then the last one is sell. PSS. Your products are now there. Using the send system, you've been able to get it into a local warehouse in the US. Now the next thing is, how do I sell it? How do I sell it to what I call a multi-channel system of buyers? I'm selling on Amazon. I'm selling on eBay. I'm selling on online stores. I'm selling direct to consumers. I'm selling to African stores. I'm selling to retail stores. I'm selling to wholesalers. I'm selling to the big box supermarkets. You must be able to sell using a multi-channel system. We have developed this system to help businesses get their products out there. I'm going to be talking more about the PSS system in a training that we're having March 5th, March 6th and 7th in Lagos. Is a live training holding at Oriental Hotel, Lagos. So again, if you want to know more about this in depth, make sure you sign up using the link below for that training. It's an amazing training. Don't miss it for anything. I'll see you another day.